So my dear students of the Hifz class, anywhere throughout the world, if you are listening to me wherever you are, do not undervalue yourself. Do not feel it a burden that you are in Hifz class. Do not feel it a burden that whilst your siblings are enjoying their games or whatever they are doing on a Saturday, on a Sunday, you are preparing for the next day. You have to take out extra 1 hour, 2 hours to learn Hifz. You have to wake up early in the morning. This burden will seem nothing on the day of Qiyamah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for what you have done. And you should feel honored. The Huffaz should feel honored. Why? Because it is Allah who is safeguarding His kalam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is choosing the Huffaz to be part of that team with Him who will preserve the Quran until the day of Qiyamah. This honor is not granted to engineers or professors or prime ministers or presidents or kings or ministers. No, this honor is for those who are in the Hifz class. They are the true civil servants. Feel happy, feel proud of yourself. Not arrogant, but feel proud of yourself. And be grateful to Allah with humbleness that, oh Allah, it is you who have chosen me for this great task. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. Make it easy for me and keep me a member of this team until I am resurrected on the day of Qiyamah and I am told, Iqra wartaqi. For everything there is sacrifice. But sometimes a sacrifice does not yield so much fruit. And sometimes a sacrifice yields so much fruit. This sacrifice will yield so much fruit on the day of Qiyamah. You will be honored as a result of your efforts. Your parents will be honored. Your teachers will be honored. And each Hafiz will be granted the honor of interceding for at least 10 people from his family who are so sinful that Jahannam will be incumbent upon them. If this Hafiz will not intercede, Jahannam is incumbent upon them. Never feel burdened. Because when you leave your home to acquire this ilm, you are in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until you return home. This virtue is not only for those students who go to a Darul Uloom. No, it is for every person who leaves his home to acquire ilm. So my friends, and especially the Huffaz, any component, any part of this component will bring reward. Any part. Just recitation. You just recite the Quran. You don't understand, you don't practice. Allah will grant you reward. You recite the Quran, you understand the Quran, you don't practice the Quran. Allah will give you reward. But it will not be sufficient to acquire salvation in the hereafter. In order to acquire salvation, one has to read the Quran, understand the Quran, and practice the Quran. And part of practicing the Quran and the Sharia and the Hadith is that once you have memorized the Quran, now you have to keep it in your heart until you breathe your last. If as a result of your neglect you forget the Quran, you will be sinful in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask all the Huffaz who are listening to me at this moment, who will listen to me later on. I ask all the Huffaz, did we memorize the Quran so that as a result of memorize the Quran we can be made to stand in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and interrogated? Is this why we have memorized the Quran? And that I want to memorize the Quran and then forget the Quran so that I am made to stand in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I am interrogated. Is this why we have memorized the Quran? No, we have memorized the Quran so that we remember the Quran until we breathe our last, and on the day of Qiyamah we are not interrogated, we are honored. We are honored. This is why we have memorized the Quran. So make sure that each and every letter of the Quran remains embedded in your hearts and become a sahibul Quran. Hamilul Quran, companion of the Quran. So the fazilah and virtue is for Sahibul Quran. And you can only remain a Sahibul Quran if you don't forget the Quran. The virtue is for Hamilul Quran, the carrier of the Quran. So you only deserve the virtues if you are carrying the Quran until you breathe your last. Ahlul Quran, the plural of Sahibul Quran and Ahlul Quran, the people of the Quran. You will only be called the people of the Quran. So make sure this Quran remains with you. And remains with you from all aspects. Number one, the words remain with you. Number two, go a step further and become ulama. There is nothing better than becoming ulama. And thereafter, you take another step. And you adorn your life with the ulum and the ma'arif of the Quran. So you are the companion of the words, you are the companion of the tafsir of the Quran, and you are the companion by 24 hours living your lives according to the Quran. يُقَالُ لِصَاحِبِ الْقُرْآنِ. Now Allah will say on the day of Qiyamah, يَقْرَأْ وَارْتَقِي. Nowhere you will find in the hadith that يُقَالُ لِحَافِظِ الْقُرْآنِ. It will be said to the memorizer of the Quran. No. So you are the companion of the Quran at this moment. Remain a companion of the Quran. And a companion of the Quran of a very high degree. I am a companion as far as the words are concerned. I am the companion as far as the tafsir is concerned. I am the companion as far as the practice is concerned. And I am also companion as far as propagating the talim of the Quran is concerned. We look at the status of the people according to their wealthy status. If only we were able to view people and observe people according to their deeni status, then we would have known who these ulama and the huffaz are. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will view each and every person according to not his wealthy status, according to his deeni status. And then these ulama, these huffaz who are looked down upon by everybody today will reap the fruits.